You're safe here, and nothing is required of you. Outside the window, rain threads down the glass. The forest is black and quiet behind it. On the inside, cozy firelight warms the room. The storm performs at a distance, and you're held on the warm side of the boundary. The scene is already set. A warm room at the edge of a dark forest. Rain working the window in clean, steady rhythms, and a cozy fire breathing light into the corners. The glass is the boundary. Everything wild stays out there. Everything warm stays in here. In the middle of it all, you're held without effort, supported, unbothered by the weather's performance. The air inside feels settled, like it has decided to be kind. The only movement is sound, soft light, and time moving slowly. I'm in your right ear now, close, intimate, like a voice just inside the room with you. Outside the window, the rain answers in texture. Tiny taps like fingertips. A scatter of droplets that turns into thin, silver lines. Tap, slide, hush, tap. Some drops land sharp and bright, then soften into a steady wash, like the window is translating storm into pattern. A heavier pass arrives, then eases, then returns, and the rhythm keeps changing without needing you to track it. The glass makes it all feel near and detailed, like the rain is right there at the edge of the room. A faint fog of warmth lives on the inside of the window, a soft halo where the room meets the night. Outside, everything is wet and dark. Inside, everything is warm and still. Occasionally, a bigger drop strikes and splinters into smaller taps, like a tiny burst of percussion. Then it settles back into the steady shh. Beyond that tapping, the forest is present but far. Wet leaves pressed flat, dark trunks drinking the rain, a canopy that keeps its secrets. Crickets stitch a faint, repeating thread into the darkness, and it feels like the night is answering itself. Call and response, without a single word. Somewhere deeper, wind moves through branches like a distant exhale, but it never enters the room. The window holds, the boundary holds. The storm can be dramatic out there, and still harmless to you in here. Somewhere outside, water runs along a ledge and drops in slower beats. Plink, plink, then disappears back into the wider rainfall. A distant rumble rolls through the forest like a faraway drum, softened by trees and rain. Inside, none of it asks anything from you. It's just the world doing what it does, safely on the other side of glass. The view widens, like a camera pulling back from the window to show the whole container at once. Rain outside, fire inside, the quiet space between sounds, the steady bass under you. The warmth has a shape, the rain has a pattern, the forest has a distance. Everything is in its place, and that alone creates safety. Firelight lays a slow amber on the walls, crackles, the kind of glow that makes edges gentler. It paints the room in soft gradients, like an old film shot on purpose. The air feels safe, not hot, not heavy, just warm enough to feel like shelter. The room looks like warmth sounds, a soft edge of blanket, a quiet corner, the suggestion of a lamp turned low. Even the silence feels padded, as if it has texture. The outside can be loud and still feel far away. I'm in your left ear now, and the fire becomes the close-up. Tiny crackles sparkle and vanish, small spark snaps that appear like pinpricks of light. Then the softer ember hush underneath, like warmth you can hear. A delicate pop, then velvet quiet, then another gentle snap as the wood settles into itself. The sound is close, detailed, alive, but never sharp for long. It flickers and smooths, like the room is breathing. Every so often, a resin pocket releases a soft click, then fades back into the ember hush. The fire's sound has layers, a crisp crackle in the front, then a deeper, softer breath beneath it, and behind both, the quiet of the room holding everything together. Shadows move across the wall, not threatening, cinematic, slow shapes sliding and dissolving, as if the night is being edited into calm. And outside, the rain keeps writing lines down the glass, but it never crosses the boundary. The view widens again, one calm frame. The window, the fire, the forest beyond, the quiet inside. You in the safe middle of it, held, unhurried, with the sense that the night can move without needing anything from you. Outside stays outside, warmth stays in, and the scene keeps returning to that simple truth. Rain on the glass, fire in the room, and you on the warm side of the boundary. The scene keeps looping in a simple, reassuring order. Tap of rain, breath of room, crackle of fire, hush again. A small world, contained and steady, while the forest moves on without you. You don't have to hold the scene, it holds itself. The window stays closed. The fire stays gentle. The forest stays distant. I'm back in your right ear, and the window becomes the horizon again. The rain is still there, patient and precise, tapping the glass in little clusters, then stretching into longer, smoother streams. It sounds like the outside world is being combed into calm, one line at a time. A few drops arrive together, a quick, bright scatter. Then the softer wash returns and fills the gaps. Along the edge of the frame, a slow drip gathers and falls in its own tempo. Plink, pause, plink, like a tiny metronome hiding in the storm. The rain has depth. The sharpest taps sit in front, like tiny beads hitting glass. Behind them is the steady shh, a wide sheet of sound that feels almost like fabric. And under that is a quieter floor tone, the thing that makes the whole scene feel stable. Sometimes a drop slides and joins another, changing pitch as it grows into a stream. Sometimes the tapping thins out, and you can hear more of the forest layer. Crickets faintly repeating, as if they're keeping watch from far away. outside is alive and still far away. In the forest layer, there's a sense of wet space, leaves heavy with water, the dark outline of trees standing still. Crickets keep their small pattern, and it lands like a soft counter-rhythm against the rain, as if the night is doing call and response with itself. Once in a while, the rain shifts direction, and the tapping changes location on the pane. A new cluster on one side, then a longer stream near the corner, then back to fine, misty taps. The view widens again, like a slow pan across the room. The window on one side, the fire on the other, shadows floating between them. The warmth has a quiet authority, as if it's been here for years, doing this exact job. Firelight reflects faintly in the glass, so the room appears twice, once around you, once ghosted on the window, with rain tracing lines through the reflection. A small flicker of orange moves across the pane, then disappears as a stream pulls it downward. Outside can be vast. Inside stays small and sheltered. Rain stays outside. Fire stays inside. The forest remains a distant presence you don't have to visit. The room feels like a safe set, a low ceiling of warmth, a floor of quiet, and the window acting like a screen where the storm can play without entering. Firelight makes the glass glow from the inside, so even the rain looks softer. Everything outside stays cinematic and distant. Everything inside stays close and calm. The room has its own stillness. Even the silence feels padded, as if it has texture. The corners feel warm, the center feels calm, and the boundary stays clean. The outside world can thunder and rush, but inside the pace stays slow. If anything passes through the mind, it passes like weather, noticed for a second, then already gone, while the scene keeps holding its shape. I'm back in your left ear, and the fire returns as a close-up shot. Tiny spark snaps, then the softer ember hush, then a calm pause where the warmth feels like light resting on skin. A log shifts with a soft, woody, settling sound. Then a gentle crackle blooms and fades. The fire never shouts. It speaks in details. Crisp in the front, soft underneath, and behind it all the room tone. Steady, safe, unmoving. The glow paints the corners again, turning the room into a small world where everything is slower. The crackle has a bright edge for a moment, then it melts back into warmth. The fire makes little textures, a tiny crackle like paper, a soft sigh as air moves through the wood, a faint settling thud that never becomes loud. The ember glow underneath feels steady, like a warm lens flare that doesn't need to brighten to be real. The warmth feels present in the sound itself, close, detailed, and safe. The ember layer sits underneath like a quiet purr. Occasionally, a resin pocket releases a tiny click, like a pin dropping. Then the hush returns. Shadows move across the wall in slow waves, and the light feels protective rather than dramatic. Outside, rain keeps drawing lines down the glass. Inside, fire keeps its soft watch. Forest stays out there. Warmth stays in here. The view widens into the final frame. Rain outside the window. Fire inside the room. Forest beyond the glass. And you on the warm side of the boundary. And in a moment, my voice will step back on purpose. The guidance will fade out until it's gone, leaving only the ambient bed, rain on the window, the hush of the forest, faint crickets in the distance, and the cozy fire breathing softly in the room. Nothing else to follow, just atmosphere, steady and cinematic, holding the scene while you drift. After that, it's only the environment continuing. No more words, just rain and fire and forest rest of the track. A long, steady sound bed you can keep on, while everything in you does less and less. Crickets stay faint. Rain stays rhythmic. Fire stays soft. And the room keeps its promise. Outside remains outside. Warmth remains inside. Follow for your nightly calm. And if you feel calm right now, follow to keep this feeling tomorrow.